So, hi again, everyone. Welcome to Loomly, and thanks for joining us. Today, we'll be covering how to boost your engagement with polls in this Flash webinar. You'll learn how to schedule polls through Loomly and how you can incorporate them into your social media strategy to strengthen your online presence. If you have any questions, please ask them in the Q&A box where my colleague Pete is on hand to help. Now, let's dive in. Polls are a fantastic way to engage your audience and stop them from scrolling the feed. Plus, every vote increases the time users spend on your content. Polls are a great way to increase engagement. Polls are interactive and encourage users to participate, boosting overall engagement rates. Plus, people enjoy sharing their opinions and seeing how others voted. They help increase reach. Engaging content like polls can increase your visibility. When users participate, their activity may be shared with followers, extending your reach organically. Building community. Polls foster a sense of community by making followers feel their opinions matter. This can strengthen the relationship between your brand and your audience. And to get real-time feedback, polls provide immediate feedback, allowing you to make quick decisions and adjustments based on your audience responses. Now, let's take a look at some examples. As mentioned earlier, polls are an excellent way to highlight your personality online, gather information about your audience, and enhance your brand image. Here's an example where a poll is used to have some fun and draw in your audience. A poll doesn't always have to be serious. Feel free to show off your personality with questions that are relevant to your followers. You can also use polls to comment on trending news stories and events in your industry to capture interest when it's high. Here's another example. In this example, a poll was used to collect insights that we could use in our marketing strategy. We recommend looking for ways to collect customer opinions, feedback, and preferences. For instance, which products do they like the best, or what do they specifically appreciate or not about your brand? Regarding this example, we also have a meme guide that I'd like to share with you guys. My colleague Pete is going to put it in the chat for you as well, so you can use it to your advantage. Two things I would also add are setting an end date for participation. This creates a sense of urgency and gives you a specific amount of data to gather and evaluate. Another thing I'd add is to use hashtags wisely, especially for Twitter, X. Branded hashtags and generic tags make it easier for people to find your polls. It also makes it easier for you to keep track of conversations. Now, we currently support polls for X, Twitter, and LinkedIn. I'll show you how to create a poll for each one on our platform. So first, we'll begin by going to New Post. In the generic content first step, which is this step here, you'll add the date, time, and all the content that will apply to all the selected social channels. Here's also where you can add a subject for internal reference, a label to track your campaigns, and include a caption that will serve as the poll question when publishing to X Twitter. So I'll start here. From here, I'll select my scheduling slot time. That'll be a perfect time for me to post. For the subject, you'll only see this inside Loomly, so I'll put poll. As the label, I'll label this as a flash webinar. And today we're going to be focused on publishing to X Twitter and LinkedIn since we're publishing polls. Now, my generic content here, what I place here will be placed for both X, Twitter, and LinkedIn. So I'll place this here. This question is going to be for our social media managers. And then when we're ready, we can click next and move forward to the fine-tune content panel. Now, this panel is where you can set a specific date and time for each social channel you have selected. If I wanted to, I could select a different time and date for Twitter and then change it for LinkedIn here. But for this example, we can leave them the same. You can also customize the content by changing the media files or copy for each specific channel. So I can change them individually for Twitter here and LinkedIn on this tab as well. This is where we'll be able to add hashtags or polls. Now, let's start with X and Twitter here. The question should already be added as a caption in the generic content. If not, we can also update it here. I'll add a second layer to my question only for Twitter by adding it to the copy here. Now we'll click Add Poll. Here's where I'll be able to add 2 to 4 options for poll responses. So my question is, what's my favorite social media platform to use? I'll add the options in here. You can add another choice, and I can add another choice up to 4. Now I'll get to select the duration for the poll for it to remain active. You can choose between 5 minutes and 7 days. I'll choose 3 days here. Please note that the poll question should be added to the body of your X Twitter copy, and that's why I added it here. Also, media attachments and link previews are not supported for polls at this time, but you can add any media as a thread to be published alongside or with your poll post. I'll show you how to do that here. Here's where I'd add that thread tweet. I couldn't add a photo here, but if I wanted to, I can add a photo here. And then you'll see that it'll be posted alongside with your poll as a thread. Now we can go to the LinkedIn tab and the steps will be pretty similar. For LinkedIn, we'll click Add a Poll here. One difference would be is that we have to specify our poll question in this box here. So I'll add a different question for LinkedIn. What platform do you currently see the most engagement? Now, we can add 2 to 4 options as well. I'll start off with Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, and then Instagram. We'll also see the option to change the poll duration below. Defaults to 1 week, but I'll change this to 3 days as well. Now, please note that options that are left empty won't be published. And for LinkedIn, media attachments, link previews, audience targeting, and post sponsoring aren't supported for polls at this time. Now, once the poll is ready, we can click schedule in order to schedule the polls for the selected time and selected date. Once we do that, we'll be taking a post view so we can get a finished look of what it'll look like. This will show us what it'll look like on Twitter once published. We click over on our LinkedIn tab, we'll get an idea of how it'll look on LinkedIn once published as well. You'll also, this is also where you can collaborate with other users for review or for final approval, if need be, depending on your workflow. Now, since everything looks good to me, I'll go ahead and click Publish Now so we can see how our polls look once they're posted to X, Twitter, and LinkedIn. So to publish now, I'll go here to Edit. I'll select Publish Now, and we'll wait for them to publish. See that it's still working. Still working for us. Perfect. So we see that these have both been published for us, and now we can check them out on both platforms. So we can view this post on Twitter. Perfect. We'll see here that it's posted just like this, just as we saw it in our preview with the thread posted as well. I'll leave a vote just because Twitter is one of my favorites. It gives me the most laughs. And then we can go over to LinkedIn. Perfect. And we'll see that it's posted to LinkedIn as well. Where I see the most engagement, I'll vote for Instagram there. And that's about it. Sorry about that. And thank you so much for joining us. If you have any questions or suggestions, please review our FAQ section for more information. If you feel like your question hasn't been answered in our FAQ, please feel free to contact our team either through chat or over email at contact@loomly.com. Thanks again for your time today. Have a great day.